Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here for our joint episode. It is the post-game reaction to Liverpool Ajax first Champions League match, as well as the pre-game for Sheffield United this Saturday. Again, big episode. So we wanted to bring on another one of our good buddies from LFC DayTrippers. We have Peter Phillips joining us. Peter, thanks so much for coming on, man. How you doing?
Very good. Thanks. Thanks for the invite and having me on your show tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're big fans of you guys over at DayTrippers, so it means a lot that you agreed to come on with us. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
But let's get right down into it, boys. I mean, we all knew what our predictions were coming into this game. I think it was a little bit more of a harder match for us. 1-0 win, own goal, nonetheless. Tough result for us. I thought we played decent. But overall, I just want to get you guys' overall thoughts on the match. Peter, let's start with you. What did you think about how we played and everything?
Well, to be honest, I thought we was very good in the first half. We created quite a few opportunities. Salah and Mane seem to be linking up pretty well and creating them chances that we should have scored, really. But we just didn't take our opportunities. And although we did get the goal from the own goal, I thought we should have been a little bit more clear at half time. But we worked really hard the whole game. Second half, obviously Ajax have come back into it and created a few opportunities for themselves. But it was a very workmanlike performance, I thought. All over the pitch, we was strong. We had to dig in. We had to battle. And I just thought in the end that we won the battle, and in the end we deserved them 3 points for the amount of effort that the lads put in during the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was one of those professional performances. I don't think we necessarily put our best foot forward by any means, but I think we did have good mentality. There was a couple of shaky moments in the game, and my biggest takeaway was, although we had good moments, we were never very fluid. I just felt like, there was always a little bit of chaos in the back. It was always a little bit sloppy. We took care of it, but, it was a little bit sloppy with some of the communications. And then just the connection from the midfield to the front three was a little bit off sometimes. But you saw it. The moment Mane got the ball, he was lights out. I mean, he knew exactly what he was going to do. He beat his man numerous times down that left side. I think it was Mazraoui who replaced Serginho Dest on that side. He had his way with him all day, but for me, it seemed a little bit sloppy just with some of the passing and some of the clearances. But, Andrew, I know that you thought it was going to be more of a 3-1 result. What did you think of the overall performance?
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I thought that Mane was really the only one up front that looked really, really threatening. I mean, I thought the front three played okay with Firmino and Salah, but Mane was really the guy who was going to make something happen. But looking at the rest of the squad, I thought in that first half, especially, our midfield just looked out of sorts. And I think the main reason for that was the addition of Curtis Jones. We heard after the game that Hendo was on a minutes restriction, only being able to play 45 minutes. So he went with Jones to start. And offensively, he looked okay, but defensively, he didn't really seem to be in the right spot for me. And that just kind of sent Wijnaldum and Milner to overcompensate in certain areas. So I think it started with the midfield. There was a lot of guys coming through there unchecked. And then, you have our two center backs in Gomez and Fabinho, who haven't really played too much together. So there wasn't that. I think that's why in the first half we saw Liverpool struggle at times. There were some shaky moments also with Adrian, which we have to come to expect, obviously. But the second half definitely was much improved with the addition of Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, I thought, it was clear the leadership and just what Henderson brought. I mean, you could tell the moment he came on, things were a little bit more crisp, and you could just tell we were missing that vocal leader out there. Fabinho and Gomez, and this is something that, Wahomie, you talked about on the last episode, was the biggest thing that we're going to be missing is that loud voice in the back. And although they did take care of it, there were some nervy times.
Yeah, I think what John Henderson brought in the second half was that leadership, and that he kept the ball and he played the ball. And I think that's where I think going into this match, I felt like I think Jones he tried hard, but I think this game was a bit too soon for him in terms of like where he's at, because he really struggled in terms of positioning and also influencing us in terms of attacking forward. I think that helped when Henderson came on. He brought that leadership. And I agree what Peter said. I think we did have chances in the first half we should have taken, and we just probably weren't as clinical as we could have been. And that's why it felt a bit chaotic. Like, I think like because of that, Ajax were beating our press. Every time they counter-attack, they looked threatening. And it didn't, in that first time, it didn't look, that's why Adrian had to make a few saves. And also his play at times caused panic, to say,
to say the least.
Yeah. And I think overall, it was one of those games we just had to win, get the 3 points, and it sets up nice to the group. So with the players we had out, I'd take that 1-0 and it puts us in a great position. So I'm not really complain. It would have been great for us to play really crisp football, but we got the 3 points at the end of the day.
Clean sheet, homie. There was a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Adrian,
you guys were surprised.
Europe.
You surprised last episode when I said clean sheet. I was like,
yeah, I was very surprised. You were right.
I said clean sheet.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, that last minute of the game, there was like 90+3 in the 93rd minute, and Adrian came out. I almost shit my pants, man. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. They're going to get a goal right at the last. And, luckily the guy hit it over the bar. But
he missed the punch, yeah.
Yeah, he missed
it. I was hot in mouth. I thought, no.
No, I think Joe Gomez, I'm sure you guys saw the clip already. Joe Gomez was all of us, man. When, you see that slow motion clip of, he's battling his defender and Adrian comes out of nowhere and Gomez is just standing there like this. What the hell are you doing, man? I think he's every Liverpool fan in a nutshell right now with Adrian in net. But it was one of those games where I think the guys either played really well or there was a lot of guys who, didn't really impress me. We talked about Curtis Jones, but I'm going to say it again. This was another pedestrian performance from Trent. I don't think we've seen him put one really solid performance in all season. And it was a little bit better this game, but still looking at him, I was just like, I haven't seen him make the impact that we typically see out of Trent Alexander-Arnold. But, Peter, when you're looking at the game, who are some of your top performers? Because I got a couple of guys circled here, but, who do you think played well for the Reds?
Yeah, taking the notes from earlier, I thought that Joe Gomez had a good game. I thought he stepped up in the absence of Van Dijk. I thought he played well. I thought Milner worked really hard throughout the 90 minutes. Thought Wijnaldum, 7 out of 10, decent game. Andy Robertson, good game as well. I thought when the substitutes of Taki Minamino and Diogo Jota really changed that second half. The pace that they brought into the game. I think Minamino, his touch was excellent. He looks like he looks to me like he's ready to push Bobby Firmino for that number 9 spot. I think he's gonna really come to the fore this season, and I think he probably needs a little bit of a rest. He's played a lot of football. He's been to Brazil again, hasn't he? And I think he just needs probably a little bit of a break. And Minamino deserves a chance. But for me, I think everyone will agree that Fabinho was outstanding, man of the match performance. Start to finish. I don't think we've conceded a goal yet while he's played as the central defender. And to me, he was outstanding in the Chelsea game when we played away there. And I thought last night, once again, he was fantastic. And it just goes to show you that we lose the best centre half in the world in Van Dijk, and then we've got the second best centre half in the world now with Fabinho.
Yeah, right. The best centre back in the world who doesn't even play centre back. It's pretty spectacular.
That's it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely awesome. I was thrilled with how Gomez and Fabinho played. It was something that we were concerned about, and I was really impressed with Joe when it comes to Joe Gomez. How he did try to take a little bit more charge, but the biggest thing for me was his discipline. He always seemed like he was in the right position, and that's something we always talk about on this podcast. Is he's very undisciplined, and his positional awareness isn't always great, but you could tell that he was really focused on that yesterday, and it definitely showed. He and Fabinho back there were definitely a breath of fresh air. But Andy Robertson, I thought too. I don't know if it's the sign of Tsimikas behind him, but I feel like he's coming out with a point to prove this season. He put in another great performance in the back line, and you know, I know it's Ajax and they're young and everything, but it wasn't the easiest job for them out there. I mean, you know, Tadic can cause some problems. You know, the young guy Kudos, he's been getting, you know, comparisons to Clarence Seedorf. Like you know, there could be a dangerous team, and especially at Ajax, it can be a difficult game. But overall, I was really impressed with that whole back line, other than Trent.
I agree. I think like Fabinho put another masterclass. I think that's 4 games now. He started, kept a clean sheet. So I think I heard on a Pierce podcast today, he was saying that how Klopp's been asking Fabinho to be more vocal and become a leader. I think Fabinho did a press conference or something, and he normally does that. So
yeah,
they're trying to get that out of him to become more vocal and be the leader at the back. So yeah, I thought the whole back line was really good. I thought Trent as well did an improved performance after. I thought he wasn't that great against Everton. I thought he played much better today defensively, and did put in a shift in. So I think it's promising in terms of defence. I think that clean sheet's going to give them a lot of good confidence. And I think potentially Fabinho and Gomez could be the way of going. I know Matic's amazing, but I think they could really go in terms of complement each other, pace and height could be the way forward, especially if we're playing against a fast team. But I think as well, Ajax are a good team, so take nothing away from them. I mean, they are still a good technical side, and they still got a lot of good young players. So yeah, I think it's promising in terms of defense. That's something to build on.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was just said. I mean, I thought for the most part in the second half, everybody played well that was on the pitch. I was just, for one, extremely surprised at Klopp's decision to sub out the front three. I couldn't. I mean, when was the last time we saw that? I don't know if it's ever, maybe 2018, I think someone said, but that shows me 2 things. One, that he has trust in these new guys, and Jota, Minamino, and even Shaqiri, who came on and actually could have had an assist on that one to Minamino. But 2, that I don't know if we'll ever see the front 3 play a full 90 ever again together. I mean, maybe here and there, but not. I think over the past 3 years, it was becoming a regular occurrence. But now with these guys and behind them pressuring for that starting lineup position, I think we're going to see a lot more substitutions up there, and not just in the midfield, but up front.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I was trying to think of when the last time I saw it, and I think it was like when I was in 7th grade playing like 6-on-6 soccer, when it was like, all right, front line, I'm in. Like, I think that's pretty sure that's the last time I ever saw it. But no, I thought that was interesting too, and I was also kind of happy to see, you know, Shaqiri get minutes in somewhat of a big game, because I think, you know, between his injuries and just his play style, took him some time to get Klopp's trust back, and he's definitely a fan favorite and a guy that we all love. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. But
does it mean Andy Barigi?
Oh yeah, I mean that's another point. I mean, he was
on the bench.
He was on the bench, but he wasn't even in the squad for the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, but he was on the bench yesterday. So the fact that he's not been subbed on, does that mean it's the end of him in January then?
Yeah.
I wonder.
What do you think, Peter? Do you think Origi has a future here, or do you think you know, he's getting pushed out by Minamino, Jota?
Yeah, it seems to me that like he is now down there the pecking order in terms of even a place on the substitute bench, like you said, against Everton. He wasn't even in the squad. So yeah, I think he's really up against it at the moment, Origi, and yeah, possibly come January they might look to cash in on him with the need for a centre back. They might think they've got enough there now with the 3 that came on as backup to the front 3. So I just think that they may look to possibly cash in on Divock Origi come January, depending on what sort of offers come their way, and use that money to then go out and buy a central defender, which we're going to need, obviously, going forward, because any sort of injuries to Matip, as we know, struggles already with injury, and Gomez is another one who's been in and out of the team, if you like, and has had injuries himself in the past. So I think that's one area of the team that Klopp will look to address, and it's already been put out there, hasn't it? There's links have been coming up already with the likes of Upamecano and Konate from Leipzig, 2 players who've been linked with us, and 1 or 2 others as well. Ben White from Brighton is another. So I think come January, Divock may be one of the ones to leave the club, and a central defender come in for his place in the squad, if you like.
No, and the funny thing too about that is, if we want to sign somebody, we do have to let somebody go because of our the homegrown talent thing. I think we're at our peak for foreign players, so we do have to let a foreign player go if we're going to bring somebody else in, and it really does fit the profile.
Do you guys at DayTrippers know something that we don't know?
Who are they looking at?
No inside information from me. I think it's that Grizz fella you need to speak to about that.
Oh yeah, we just had him on. He's a great lad, that's for sure. You guys want to get into some ratings on the game?
Yeah.
Go on then, yeah.
Awesome. I'll start. Adrian, giving a 6. I mean, I know he had the clean sheet, but I was shitting my pants the entire time watching that game, and I think the defenders were too. He did make a couple of good saves, but some of his positioning was definitely off a little bit. I mean, that Fabinho goal line clearance saved his ass with that. But getting the clean sheet elevates him to a 6 from a 5 from me.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6 well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 6, yeah.
I'm gonna give him 7. He made some great saves. He's a mentality monster, man. He comes back from everything apparently. So
he does, dude. Yeah, the confidence that he has on social media is unparalleled. That's for sure. Yeah, when it comes to Trent, I'm gonna give him a 6.5 again. I thought, like you said, with Homie, a little bit better defensively, but just going forwards, I still think he's just missing a little something there right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know what's up with Trent. I don't know the last time he put a good cross in, or when he this time last year he had at least 4 or 5 assists. So I don't know what it is with him, but I think maybe he's not fully confident yet. I don't know, but yeah, I agree with this. 6.5 for him, for me.
Yeah, I'm going 6.5 as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with 6.5 out of 10 for Trent. I think he started the season a little bit later, didn't he, than the rest. He had a little bit of a knock in pre-season, and it's probably taken a little bit more time to get up to speed than the Reds, but I think than the rest of the players, should I say. And I just think over the next coming weeks, he did improve his performance last night to previous performances, and I think you'll see a continual improvement in his performance between now and Christmas. You'll see a different player, and you'll start to see them assists coming as well, and the confidence will start coming back in him. So yeah, I think you'll see a different player in Trent over the next few weeks.
Now, when it comes to the center backs, Fabinho, I'm gonna give a 9. I just thought he was outstanding, and I'm gonna give Gomez an 8. I mean, I think they were 2 of our best players out in the field. I was definitely impressed, and almost put me at ease a little bit knowing with Van Dijk out, we got 3 pretty good options at center back.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fabinho 9. I give Gomez an 8.
I give Gomez an 8. Fabinho a 10. Thought he was perfect. Incredible.
Perfect.
Yeah, he was outstanding. Just only 1 or 2 occasions he gave the ball away, didn't he? But that goal line clearance was fantastic. The one where the ball's got lobbed over Adrian's head, and it's similar to Milner last year, wasn't it? Against, I think, Bournemouth. But yeah, fantastic performance from Fabinho, and I'd give him a 9. Gomez 8.5.
Awesome. And then Robbo, I'm going to go 8 as well. I thought he, again, played another great game going forwards. Really solid defensively as well. I don't remember really any moment where he was getting beat. So solid performance from Robbo, 8 from me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Robbo's been outstanding. I think he's gone up a level this year in terms of assists and how he's attacking and defending. So yeah, I'll give him 8 as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Samika's behind him now or the emergence of Alphonso Davies and people giving him best left back in the world shouts, but he's been our best player this year for me. He's been absolutely consistent, phenomenal. So I give him an 8.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. I thought he was up and down that wing, wasn't he? And he's putting some decent balls in from corners as well. It looks like he's been working a bit on the set pieces from that side, where previous seasons we've had the right-footed player taking the corners on the left-hand side, haven't we, with an in-swinger. Seems now that we've sort of changed that now, and we're going for the out-swinger, if you like, with Robertson taking them from the left-hand side, and Trent or another right-footed player taking them. I think Thiago might have took one in the derby on that right-hand side. I'm not too sure, but yeah, Robertson was really good, and I give him an 8 out of 10 as well. Yeah.
I mean, he's a solid guy. Love Robbo. He's one of my favorites. But getting to the midfield three, I'm going to give Milner and Genie a 7. I thought Milner played significantly better in the second half. You could tell that he was just maybe like a little rusty in the first opening 20. But I thought second half he played fantastic, and he and Genie were really crucial for our press, I thought. So I'm going to give both of those guys a 7. And then when it comes to Curtis Jones, unfortunately, I think he was the low man today. I'm going to give him about a 5. Just not his best performance, for us. Maybe a little bit too soon for him to start in the Champions League, but valuable experience for the lad. I'm not too worried about him going forward. Just a tough match tonight or yesterday.
Yeah, I'd give it the 2 Milner and Hendo. Overall, yeah, I'd say 7, just about 7. Curtis Jones, I'd give it a 5. I think like his time will come. But last night just wasn't his night, and I think the Champions was a bit too soon for him. And I thought, I'll give you those 7, 2 7s and a 5.
Yeah, I thought Genie was one of our better players all game. He was showing us the midfielder that he can be, and I think he's trying to show Klopp that too, because he definitely wants to play a lot. But so I gave him a 7.5. I thought he was fantastic in that second half. In the first half, he was kind of the one who was holding things together in the midfield. But Milner, I thought, definitely struggled in the first half. I think when Hendo came in, he did better in the second half. So I gave him a 6.5. And then Jones was just the weak man out, as Steven said. I gave him a 5. He just looked all over the place defensively. And I think he's one of the reasons why Ajax was able to get out of our press so easily.
What do you think, Peter? I think he might have froze. Yeah, I think he froze. We'll go back to Peter for his midfield 3. But when it comes to the front 3, I think Mane was the guy. I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I thought he was great. Looks like we lost Peter. He'll come back. I think I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I thought he was our best of the front 3. Just missing that, the clinical piece to it.
Yeah.
And then Firmino and Salah, I think it was more of about a 6.5 out of both of them. Didn't wow me in any means, but they really didn't do anything to hurt us either. I thought they were just kind of pedestrian, kind of out there. 6.5.
I'd give 90. I don't know. I'd give Bobby a 6. I think Mane and Salah 6 and up. Well, I know Mane got that. Does it give a 7? Okay, give Mane a 7, and then Salah 6.5.
Yeah, I thought Mane was the most threatening. I gave him a 7.5. I thought he was, if he didn't score, nobody else was going to. Technically, he didn't score, but he caused it, and he was the one who was going to definitely cause something for us. But Salah and Firmino, they were just, like you guys said, they were pedestrian. They didn't really do much. They definitely seemed to be, I don't know if they were tired. Maybe that's why they got subbed off. But I gave them both 6s.
And we talk about the bench players. I mean, we can give them ratings, but I just wanted to say that Jota and Minamino were great. I thought their connection. I was shocked with how good their connection was together in such a short time. Definitely gives me hope going forward about having a nice back 3. They played 30 minutes. I'd probably give them both about a 7. Shaqiri again, more of a 6.5. I thought he was just okay. But yeah, those 3 were great, and then Henderson 7.5 as well. We needed that leadership.
Yeah, I thought I'd give that. I think Henderson came on. I'd actually give Henderson 7.5 what he did, because he steadied the ship, kept the ball well, dictated the play for us, and we actually looked good in the second half. And he actually allowed us to take the game away from Ajax, because I think if Henderson wasn't on there, Ajax probably would have equalised in the second half if we just continued on with the midfield. So I think he was crucial. Did you do the others 3 as well?
Yeah.
And I think Jota, Minamino, I'll give him a 7 as well. I didn't really do much with Shaqiri, so I give Shaqiri a 6.5 when he came on. I think it was more Jota and Minamino that were more impressive in terms of the link-up play and being threatening. So I feel that, there's so much more to come from them. And I'd love to see Minamino in a 10 or midfield rather than playing as the false 9, because I still don't think that's his position.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with you guys for the most part. Hendo came on and played really well. He was kind of the difference maker for me in that second half. I gave him a 7. Shaqiri was kind of the weak link of the 3 subs that came on up top. I gave him a 6. You know, he just doesn't offer too much defensively, unfortunately, just given his height. But I thought Minamino and Jota were fantastic. You know, they were causing problems for that Ajax squad. So I gave them 7 for Minamino and 7.5 for Jota. He just looks so dangerous on that wing. I mean, he's going to fit in perfectly with anybody who gets subbed off in the front 3. So, I mean, I'm excited about those 2 specifically.
No, I'm pumped for Jota. That every day goes by, it just looks much better signing every single day. But, that pretty much wraps up our Ajax coverage. We're going to get
All right, everyone, we're actually going to wrap it there for the time being. We lost Peter due to technical difficulties, and Steven had to jump off early. So we're going to just end it on the Ajax post-game episode. We're going to do a Sheffield pre-match tomorrow, so please be on the lookout for that. Hit that subscribe button in the bottom right and give us a like. You know that we earned it, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.